the three most important things about a website really are having it online in the first place, making sure it's available to your customers, making sure the website's secure. And the third one, is it good value for money? How important is the website to you, and can you afford to keep it online? If it's an existing website, are you paying your current hosting provider too much? Especially over the last year or two, all sorts of costs going up. How do we keep ourselves efficient so that we can keep our customer sites online affordably?
Hey, Cory Miller here from A2 Hosting, and welcome back to our leadership series where we introduce you to the humans guiding our company. In this conversation, I'm thrilled to sit down with Dom Taylor, our Chief Technology Officer. Dom leads the team behind the tech that keeps your websites fast, secure, and reliable, often working behind the scenes so smoothly you don't even notice we're there. And you'll hear that specifically from Dom in this interview. That's our goal: seamless and visible excellence. We dive into Dom's journey from running his own hosting business out of his bedroom as a teenager to building global infrastructure powering millions of websites today. We'll explore his approach to customer experience, problem solving, and his vision for the future of hosting and technology. And one key is you'll hear from Dom along with our CEO Seb and our COO Panos. They've been working together successfully and impactfully for many, many years together. And I think that's key for leadership. They know their roles, they know how they work together, and they know how it all comes together for the best end result for you, the customer, better company and service for you. So let's jump in right now to our conversation. Here is Dom Taylor, our CTO. Hey, everybody, we got another great conversation lined up. I am speaking to Dom Taylor, our CTO at World Host Group. And I've heard a lot about you, Dom. I've seen your face in different meetings, but now I get to talk one-on-one with you. But welcome to the A2 Hosting Show. I'm excited to be talking about your role here, where you've been in the past, and where we're going at World Host Group and A2 Hosting. So thanks for coming on today.
Hey, Cory, no worries. Nice to meet you. And hi, everyone.
Well, hey, first, before we get into the technical things, where in the world are you?
I'm in the UK, about an hour outside London. We have our UK headquarters in the Cotswolds. Lovely little countryside office.
Yeah, I've heard a lot about the Cotswolds. I'll be there in a month with a lot of our commercial team. So I'm excited to explore the Cotswolds and learn what it's all about. So, well, I want to dive in. You are the CTO at World Host Group. What does that mean? I don't want to assume anything. I want people to hear from you, but what really does that mean for a web hosting company like World Host Group?
Okay, so obviously, as a hosting company, we are a technology company. So as the CTO, Chief Technology Officer, my job is to explore the market, to find the best possible solutions for our customers, giving them the best value, the best performance, and make sure basically we stay at the top of our game. Working across all of our different teams, helping everyone understand, what we do on a day-to-day basis, and where we are at the moment and where we're going long term.
Well, that means everything from, I know A2 Hosting had 4, I think, data centers. Now we have way more as part of the World Host Group. So I assume that's part of that, the servers, and then all the engineering that goes into all that, keeping our stack up and running and secure.
Yeah, so with the addition of A2, we have, I think, 15 major global POPs, in more or less sort of 10 major metropolitan areas, on almost every continent. I think we're still working on Antarctica.
Oh, wait, are there data centers in Antarctica?
I think there might be one, but I think you have to be a scientist.
Wow, I had no idea.
But no, I mean, obviously the key selling point of our group really is we can take our technology, we can put it anywhere in the world. So for example, we acquired a hosting a brand in Mexico, suimpresa.com, and we rolled out our technology stack to Mexico City. They didn't actually have a Mexico City pop at that time, so we actually improved that brand. Obviously, A2 has got various locations around the world that also match up with ours. So yeah, that's one thing that we're great at.
Well, it's so funny you mentioned Mexico City. I'm going there in 2 weeks for a family vacation. So now knowing we have company and data center down there, that's really really interesting.
Yeah, I'm not sure you can expense that, but you can try.
Yeah, no, maybe go by and take a picture from the outside. Well, okay, thanks for that. And as we've been doing with several of the leadership team. Of course, you're part of that. CTO. We've talked to Seb. We've talked to Panos. We'll talk to Tim soon. Others on our C-suite team. But part of that was connecting stories together. And I know you, Seb, Panos, have. This isn't your first go around together, but can you kind of give me some backstory about how you got to do this type of role over time? I would imagine you like tinkering with servers and tech, but tell me how all that started and got to where you are today.
I think you've got it exactly right. Basically, um, tinkering in a bedroom somewhere. I started a Harry Potter fan site when I was 17, um, in my bedroom, basically at home, when I should have been doing my homework. Um, so yeah, I'm not sure that's a. But yeah, so I started that, and then we realized we needed more server space for it, so I had to teach myself, how to build servers, how to run servers. Um, this was back in 2002, that kind of time. So really, everything was brand new. I think we used Front Page for building that. I think that was the very early days of the internet going mainstream. Um, and then to help pay for the server costs, I had to cover it by basically sharing the space with other people. So that meant going out to family, going out to friends, seeing if anybody wanted a website. Um, and it kind of went from there, really. Similar to many of us in the early 2000s. Um, by like the 2010 era, I think there were four of us running my little UK hosting company, and we were sort of rapidly going up the ranks, just by really sticking to the same things that I learned when I was running my own site. What do you want from a website? You want it to be fast, reliable. You want to give your visitors a good experience, and it's these same basic principles really that we've led all of our teams with over the years. If there's a missing feature, or if there's a problem, or if there's a configuration question, your customers, your visitors, they're coming to you as a website owner or as a hosting company owner. So really just 25 years of troubleshooting and improvements.
Yeah, for sure. And I love how organically it came out, of a passion. I know Seb and Panos talk similar stories, and then how it kind of backed up to a need. And okay, we got to pay for this. But then has you've been on a wild journey and a 25-year career here on web that started out pretty cool. But I think that connection back is so important that you were building your own sites, cobbling it together with Front Page, or in my case, Dreamweaver. And then, later on backing into, wow, this great thing called the internet, and an outstanding career. So what were you doing the past couple of years before World Host Group?
um, so following on from the 2010s, I ran a UK based hosting company with Seb, Panos, Chris, Thomas, and too many other fantastic people to name. I'm sorry if I've missed you. A couple of other.
Those are all names I'm familiar with. I didn't realize, I know I've heard Thomas's name quite a bit. Of course, Panos and Seb, but didn't know you all have been around together that long. So that's excellent.
We're lucky to have a core team of 20-30 people that we've worked with now for in the region of 10 years. So we were building our UK hosting business, which eventually we sold in 2017. And then we all had the idea that we could actually take some time off from hosting and see the outside world.
From running a business, growing a business. Yeah,
Yeah,
I hear you there.
exactly. 'Cause it takes all of your time, all of your effort. I mean, the rewards are fantastic when we all the good reviews, they come straight um into our Slack, into our teams. Also the bad reviews as well, obviously. everything comes in. Um so yeah, we sold this company, and then we tried to take some time off, and we started a WordPress maintenance business. Um because we thought maybe we could just use other hosting from other providers and then not have to run the hosting ourselves. We thought this might be slightly easier business. But actually what we learned was that the same problems from 10, 20 years ago still existed. Most of the customers coming to us, the issues weren't necessarily their website, it was the hosting. Um, and we'd, log into the customer's accounts of the hosting companies on their behalf and create support tickets, or try and deal with server errors. And actually a lot of the problems came down to the hosting, which was we couldn't fix. And then we looked bad to our customers. So we sort of looked at each other, and we sort of looked at each other and realized, wait a minute, we're going to have to start another hosting company, um, and do it our way again, because we became the fastest growing hosting company in the UK through years of hard work, basically, and team building, and hiring people, some with lots of hosting experience, some with very little, because it's still a relatively new industry. And we taught people our way of doing things. And that's why, even to this day, that, like I said, the core team, also a lot of the core team, obviously we have 750 people now. It's a huge effort.
Yes.
But the starts of this new group were the same people that we've worked with for a very long time.
I'm really curious because you all have been together and you said a core team of 20 or 30. That's pretty incredible. When you work with people, how you operate, values you operating in, you can count on people, you know what to expect. I mean, that's pretty compelling to have a core team now leading a bigger group, but has been together for a long time. When you said, how we do things our way, when in reflection of all that and that core team, what stands out to you? What is the difference makers for you where you go, this team, we can do anything with?
Um, the most important thing for us really is ownership of problems. And that's what we think differentiates us from, very large corporations. Because even at 750 people, we're not that large. We want everyone to be involved, everyone to feel like they can own any kind of problem or any kind of development and make a difference. And that means basically a certain tenacity, right? Whether it's me telling my team something, or whether it's my team coming back to me and saying, hey, I don't think this is right, or I think we need to do it this way to help this customer. It's having these sort of open, straightforward technical conversations rather than sort of brushing things off, or not really understanding the customer. So this is definitely a key foundation.
I think that second part, well, both are huge. One, for a hosting company, you think about like we should be problem solvers. Someone has a problem with their website, just like when you all were running fix.net, come in, we're expected to have the answers. So problem solving seems like a core value. We like to solve problems. I think the second one was so compelling is customer experience. I've run software teams before, built a software company before, and that customer experience is so vital. And for you to say that, really interesting, because it tells me you see this other side. Like when people were using past companies you all had built and services you've provided up to now today, we know there's people on the other side of that screen logging in, trying to do something. It's pretty important. What stands out to you though when we just say customer experience? What kind of stands out to you?
The three most important things about a website really are having it online in the first place, making sure it's available to your customers, making sure the website's secure. Over the years, there's been huge changes in how hosting, especially shared hosting, is done. Even today, there's people that set up servers that can be insecure. There's a whole suite of best practices which really have only been developed over the last few years. So, do we follow those? Do we create those? Anyway, I'm going on a tangent. And the third one, is it good value for money? Is it a hobby website? Is it a business website? Is it an e-commerce website? How important is the website to you, and can you afford to keep it online? Can you save money if you move it to a different product of ours? If it's an existing website, are you paying your current hosting provider too much? Maybe if, especially over the last year or two, all sorts of costs going up. How do we keep ourselves efficient, so that we can keep our customer sites online, affordably? So yeah, these are three very important key points.
When you go back to 2003 and that early era to today, oftentimes websites back then were, there was obviously some that were real commerce, that were driving things. But the comparison to now, I think COVID pushed this forward, is like there was a time where you thought website was kind of an afterthought. Today, especially with COVID, especially with the proliferation of the web, it's essential. It's core to almost, well, I'd say a broad stroke, every organization's mission, purpose, strategy. Got to have the website thing. It's imperative now. Of course, you can still build your own stuff, but for your hobbies and things like that, and it's a great place for that. But then, it's pretty serious now. It's like non-negotiable. You need to have a website for your organization to share what you're doing for people. It's an expectation now.
Yeah, obviously COVID was a step change, really. But it was sort of like a light bulb went on, almost around the world. And I was sat there thinking, I've run a business from my home, for years, starting when I was, in my 20s. So I'm glad that everyone else is waking up to the fact that it's possible, because really, what was my business? It was a website. There's no physical shop, really. There's offices, but there's no physical shop. Our business is all done through our websites as well. So yeah, we completely get it, and I'm very happy to see that we could help people as well in these times. I think one of our brands saw an 83% increase in new signups in 2020.
Oh wow!
And yeah, that has continued. And if anything, in the last few years, there's been a bigger focus on making things easier to get going with. You don't just get a default welcome page like an index.html. Welcome to your website. Good luck. Here's the FTP server. Like, back in the days, we used to just give people an FTP login and say, hey, you can upload your site. That doesn't really cut it these days.
Got a more sophisticated customer for sure, where things have over the time, from the time, when we're talking about like 2003 to today, tools have so much evolved and changed, and expectations have changed, and everything we're doing for sure.
You've got WordPress, obviously is hugely popular piece of software. We've got plugins and add-ons for that help you, onboarding wizards, all that kind of stuff, just to make life easier.
Well, since you mentioned WordPress, I want to kind of just touch on that for just a second, because you all started a company called Fix.net that I love the premise, like tackle some of the very hard problems. I know one of those that you identified was the hosting side, and that turned into World Host Group. But what were some of the other things specifically about WordPress you saw, learned through that experience? I'm curious. A lot of our customers, majority of our customers, was to say, are WordPress customers. They, it powers 45 plus, whatever the number is now today, but it's always grows with WordPress. But I know on our base and every hosting company's base, huge part is WordPress. But some of those takeaways from that experience from working with WordPress and tackling those hard problems for other customers.
Um, w- what Fix.net showed me was the variety of use cases that people have for WordPress. Um, Obviously, we know it does more than the basic a blog website. Um, but creative e-commerce uses, I could put it that way. People not just using WooCommerce, but with their entirely custom built plugins and themes, um, are running all sorts of things from competition websites, seeing incredible transaction volumes, which probably you couldn't run um, on competing e-commerce software really, because it's too complicated. Um, I saw WordPress just being used as a framework to create things, um, and the huge amount of flexibility that it gave people. That always makes Fix.net interesting, because a customer can come to us with something we've never seen before and say, "Hey, this is broken. Can you help me figure out how to fix it?" And we've got a great team of essentially WordPress geeks, um, myself included, that that really enjoy all this sort of troubleshooting. Um, it's such a vibrant, changing, ever-present community, um, and the number of use cases is just staggering. But also, there's plenty of areas where um, it can be lacking. I suppose the sort of slight downside really is a lot of the work we do at Fix is hacked sites or sites that aren't performing well. Um, just because you can write a database query doesn't mean it's efficient. Maybe you've missed an index, or you've got the wrong field type, or you've just discovered joins and think they're the best thing ever until you actually have to use them across multiple tables, and you're putting all sorts of crazy result sets. So yeah, lots of optimization work, lots of security work, um, all sorts of things.
The best thing from all that, Dom, is that my CTO said he's a WordPress geek. I mean, that's my favorite, and that's why I like to highlight some of this story because you said Panos are very familiar with WordPress. Like when you're fixing hack sites, when you're optimizing sites, when you're helping those to that particular service that now World Host Group owns, that like that shows some depth and way past mine. I've been doing WordPress for a long time, but when you're able to do those kind of things, it shows experience. And I think that all informs our product, how we do everything you do and lead with our company, but the rest of our leadership as well with that kind of depth and experience with WordPress is pretty compelling. And the second thing was the framework. I love that you see that, you can do a blog, you can do a website, but when those creative uses, there's $1 billion grocery chain in Texas in the United States that uses WordPress for their grocery delivery and pickup. And that's pretty remarkable. And it also runs my personal site, you know, so,
Yeah.
and NASA and other big sites. So, well, thanks for sharing some of that. Um, Dom, I know you're super busy running a lot of things here for us, and we've got some cool things coming up. But what's exciting to you? I know World Host Group is like 18 months, almost 2 years old, and we're on a big adventure here now. Like you said, 750 people, brands. We're still looking at acquiring more and more, and we've got a great roadmap that we'll be sharing in the coming months. But what's exciting about you? To sign up for this journey at World Host Group.
So, I mean, I love building things. I love building platforms, and solving problems. So we are very much still in the stage of building and perfecting things. Um, yes, there are one or two things coming out that I can't talk about, which takes up a lot of our time. I'm sure we'll see more on these in the coming months. But from an engineering and sort of technical point of view, because I haven't mentioned that much yet. We have built out all but one of the global POPs that we would like at the moment. We've deployed over 5 petabytes of NVMe storage. We run our entire platform on NVMe. So one exciting project is one brand that we acquired has some hosting service that still use spinning disks, you know, actual hard disks. So I can't wait to have those migrated to our NVMe platform, especially for customers with mail, because it gives them such, fantastic performance. So that's step one, really, is finishing the rollout of our platform globally, and standardizing our customer experience as much as possible, because it makes life easier for our support teams, because they know what performance that a customer can get, what features a customer can get, where they can get them, how they can get them, how they can upgrade between products. So that's stage one. And then stage two is building out extra features. So where can we use more AI to make life simpler, make it more efficient for everybody? Panos probably talked about that a little bit because he does the customer support side of things. But from the operational side and the tech side, improving our monitoring with AI, with trend monitoring, with abuse monitoring. For example, with abuse, we handle most things automatically. We use security systems, popular software like Immunify and Monarchs. But can we use more AI to be sort of more proactive with our alerts, if that makes sense? So obviously we get alerts when we see bad performance trends, but that means we've already seen bad performance. So my goal is, my ideal day really is for our systems and monitoring to be completely invisible, for there to be no problems. And our global uptime last month was actually 99.999%. So that is the overriding overriding sort of goal and aim, really, is to keep that as high as possible. Yeah, that was a very long answer, really, but
I love it. I think you touched on a lot of things there. So, the AI with the data. So making sure, all things are running and leveraging all the cutting edge tools. I think there's something the most compelling was probably saying we should be invisible. From the work we do, should just run high level. We should be optimizing, all the time, securing all that. And that if we're doing our job, it's probably like assumed, it's forgotten, it's invisible. I think that's pretty compelling and a great aim for what we're doing, you know?
yeah, it's like the best thing about what we do is because we deploy the same hardware globally, because we know our suppliers really well. We work really closely with all of our suppliers and our product teams. We can guarantee a cutting edge experience for all of our customers, no matter where they are, or no matter where they'd like their website to be. Even if you're an A2 customer that maybe has an Australian business, for example, to date you haven't been able to deploy your A2 hosting package in Sydney because A2 had 4 data centers, but none in Sydney. But we have one in Sydney. Or if you're in, for example, using one of our Indian brands, which didn't previously have a POP in India, we've added one in India, so we can give people the best performance no matter where they are or no matter where their customers are. And also, obviously, data sovereignty, especially in uncertain global times, I suppose is a way to say it. We can make sure the data is located where our customers want it to be for the best possible security. So yeah, that's all, behind the scenes things that then come to the front and give our customers the best options.
Absolutely. Well, Dom, thanks so much for your time today. One last question. What Harry Potter house are you?
Someone asked me this last week.
Does it really?
Yeah. I guess Gryffindor has to be right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I took the online quiz a while back, and my daughter and I are Hufflepuff. So, all right. And I've got a son who's Gryffindor. So, hey, Dom, thanks so much today for sharing a little bit about your background and just kind of, our intention here is to introduce the humans leading our great organization that's rapidly growing, and knowing the human behind humans. I know you've got a great team, so it's not just you, but the leaders driving our company forward for our customers. So appreciate your time today.
You're welcome. Nice to chat.